Optimism after what could have been a catastrophe last year. What have you made of the signings that Tottenham have made this summer?
Yeah, I think it's been fantastic to see. I think we bought really well. I think the great thing is that all the players are Premier League proven players. You know, we've seen what they can do in the Premier League. We don't have to wonder if they can adapt to the league. I like that we're kind of building from the back and kind of building through the team. You know, setting up our foundations, and I believe there is still more to come. There's still more signings to come, which is exciting. So, you know, I think we've realised that we can't be in the position that we was the last two seasons, and you know, we've had to make drastic changes, and it's been great to see that for the manager as well. You know, it shows that the trust and belief that we have in him, but also gives him the opportunity to build early on. You know, pre-season is a big part of a season. You know, and the more of your first 11, so to speak, or more of your squad that you have together as early as possible does help the season. So, you know, obviously we couldn't bring the players that went late into the World Cup, but everyone else is here, and you know, we get a chance to kind of integrate them and build for the start of the season, which is ideal.
Did you ever think Tottenham would spend £100 million on a player?
I always hoped they would. I always hoped. Yeah, listen, you always, yeah, man. Hopefully there's more to come, eh? Let's say that.
Well, the Ryan Norris, the Chief Revenue Officer, this morning was telling me that there would be more coming. Who would you like to see Tottenham sign?
Oh, jeez. It's not. I don't know.
You've got a direct line. The Spurs guys are all here. You've got a direct line to the top man.
Harry Kane? Looks like a good. There's some good players. There's some really good players out there. Fabinho is a good player as well. I think the good thing is at the moment is that we are looking in the right places. You know, there's players. We're looking at players that people are well aware of, and players that are doing good things at the moment. So I think that's something to be excited about.
So how critical is it that Tottenham buy players this year? Because while we're not in Europe this coming season, we've got a little bit more leeway in terms of being able to pay when it comes to salary to cost ratio, or whatever they call it. So we can actually spend more this summer than potentially what will happen next year. Do we have to get it right this summer and make sure we do keep going and don't just stop now?
I think the most important thing is always to get the right people in. You know, I think we've seen over the years it's not just about just buying. You know, it's about getting the right people in, the right characters, the right people that want to play for the football club. So that's the most important thing for me.
Would you be gutted to see some of those younger players leave?
Of course. Again, you know, I've been in football long enough to say, or to know that, you know, everyone's got to kind of make their own decisions for their own careers. And yeah, there's no doubt we've got a lot of really good young players in the squad. Obviously, you mentioned we've got no Europe, which is going to probably limit some of the youngsters' football for this season, which is not ideal. And of course, yeah, we'd love them to stay. It's up to, I don't know who's in what position. You know, or maybe it's up to them to kind of want to be at the football club and see the long-term project that we're building. You know, that's what they see.
What have you made of Roberto De Zerbi and the impact that he's had?
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic since he came in. I think you can see the impact straight away. And I think that bigger things to come. You know, I think last season, I think we only just saw the tip of the iceberg with him because of the delicate situation he was in. I think that he kept things pretty simple in terms of his tactics and how he wanted his team to play. He didn't want to complicate things too much. You know, I think now we get a pre-season and we'll start to really implement what he wants. And yeah, I liked him before he joined Tottenham. I love him now. He's at Tottenham. I think he's a fantastic manager, and I love his style that he brings. You can see that he wants his team to play from the back. He wants his centre half to be able to start attacks and play football. That's something that we've always enjoyed. He wants his midfielders to create, wide men to create, score. So yes, now it's about just building the right players into that, and as you can see, we're trying to give him everything that he needs to succeed.
Well, Spurs are pretty stacked when it comes to centre back now. Got Michael Senesi joining, Van Hecken joining too. So out of them, Romero, Danso, Van der Ven, who starts for you?
Whoever's there when the season starts. We have to see who's there first. Van der Ven does, and then it's whoever partners in, I suppose, for now. I think. We've got a lot of good centre halves. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Though. I don't know what's going to happen, and we have to see until the window kind of closes. We don't know who's going to be around, who's not going to be around, and for me, it's about the players now proving their worth. The ones that have just been brought into the club, they're going to have to prove to the manager between now and the start of the season. It'll be interesting to see.
When they bring in Andy Robertson and some more experienced players, and I know people talked a lot about when Nuruddin Naibet was brought in, and actually the value of having those older players. Is that actually something that is very useful for teams to have players that have been there and done that and teach the younger ones?
Yeah, definitely. When you get an experienced player with the right character, which we know Andy Robertson is. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Someone like Ben Davies is the same as well. He's a great character to have around the place. You need players like that. They're important to have. I think when you get a team and they don't have these kind of veteran leaders kind of policing the changing room, keeping the standards, that's when so many things can slip. Going back to Naibet, when he was a bit different with him. He didn't hardly speak a word of English, so it wasn't really policing it in that way. But just him as a player kind of helped me with my game because he was a totally different defender than me, and I got to kind of learn his style of defending, and that was something that I kind of took on a little bit later on in my career. The cleverness of defending. It's all about strength and pace. It's a lot of it. And I had reading of the game at a young age, but what I didn't have was one knee. So when I had one knee, then I had to kind of adjust my game a little bit, and that's when I kind of started to think about Naibet and how clever he was with his defending.
So seeing as we're playing Fantasy Manager, who would you play at left back out of Andy Robertson, Destiny Udogie, or Jed Spence?
Yeah, they're all got different qualities. It's whatever you prefer. I don't know.
What do you put it this way. Destiny Udogie, probably the number one left back. But do you think the performances that Jed Spence has put in at the World Cup and for England, does that put him in the conversation?
Yeah, definitely. I think I always say that when it's like that, I'm not sure who is the first choice. I think it's there for the taking, so to speak. I'm not sure the manager will definitely have his favourite at this point. I think it's between now and the start of the season. Manager will go with his gut feeling of who he feels, is the guy to start the season now.
Out of all the centre backs, out of the ones that we named before, which one do you think you would work best with if you were playing as in a back four? Which one do you think you would work best at in your prime? Apart from by yourself.
Any of them. Honestly, part of me would have loved to have played with Romero because I feel like I calm him down a little bit when he needs it. Because I like, he's got a lot of strengths and a lot of good traits. At times I feel like he just needs a bit of that guidance to tell him not to go for that at that time. Don't go hold, stay, little things like that make a difference. When I played with Dawson at times, he was someone that always wanted to go run in and going to win everything. And I had to try to control him at times and say, just hold. And I think it would be nice to do that with Roberto. But yeah, I feel like when they're top players, you can play with any of them. Okay.
We'll do a few quick fire questions and then we'll open it up to the floor. Because I'm mindful of the fact you've been very generous with your time. Favourite stadium you've played in?
Favourite stadium? Apart from what I'm in. Probably, I made my debut at Anfield, so that's always had a bit of a special place for me.